This was the fear I had for Joel Embiid. You announce arrogantly, I'm not playing back-to-backs, Ernie. I'm not injured, but I'm sore. I come in when I want to come back. Now, when you say things like that, you're supposed to come back with extra energy. 0 for 3, I'd have been 0 for 15. But you know what y'all have said? Hey, Shaq's not playing well, but he's playing aggressive. So the plan that they're having, it's not working. And not only that, I say this respectfully, Joel Embiid will never win a championship until he gets his mind and his attitude right.
Joel Embiid, a name that strikes fear into defenders and gets analysts buzzing. A 2-time scoring champion, MVP, and a walking highlight reel. You'd think his resume screams legend in the making. But here's the kicker. Joel Embiid might be the most frustrating superstar the NBA has ever seen. Yeah, I said it. Now, don't get me wrong, Embiid is talented. Some might even call him the most skilled big man of this generation. But being a superstar isn't just about skill or stats. It's about reliability, leadership, and showing up when it matters most. And this is where Embiid falls flat. The great expectations. Let's rewind a bit. The Sixers have done everything in their power to make Embiid's career as smooth as possible. They trusted the process, drafted well, brought in marquee free agents, and even switched head coaches to cater to his style. Philly's front office bent over backward to appease their franchise player. Nick Nurse, hired. Tyrese Maxey, paid. The best offseason in years, locked in. So why does it feel like the Sixers are still stuck in quicksand? The problem with reliability. It starts with Embiid's availability, or lack thereof. This man is like that friend who's always making excuses for not showing up. Injuries, load management, and now, his reluctance to play back-to-backs. When your team looks to you for stability and you're MIA, what message does that send? Remember last year? The Sixers were 54-28, and their record with Embiid on the court was elite. Without him, they looked like a G League team. But here's the irony. For a guy who impacts winning so much during the regular season, his postseason performances consistently leave fans shaking their heads. Playoff woes. Speaking of the playoffs, where do we even begin? Embiid has a knack for disappearing when the stakes are highest. Sure, he's had big games here and there, but his overall playoff resume? It's underwhelming to say the least. Think about it. We've seen guys like Shaq, Tim Duncan, and even Giannis dominate when it mattered most. Meanwhile, Embiid has made a habit of falling short. And when he's not on the court, he's usually on the sidelines looking confused, clutching his knee, or holding an ice pack the size of a beach ball. Leadership? What leadership? But let's move past the injuries and the playoff chokes. Let's talk about leadership. Joel Embiid is supposed to be the face of the franchise, the guy everyone looks up to. Instead, he's the guy setting a terrible example. Reports of tardiness, unprofessional behavior in team meetings, and a general lack of accountability have surfaced over the years. And it's not just off the court. On the court, Embiid's body language can be downright awful. Missed shots, turnovers, bad calls, you name it, and he's sulking or throwing his arms up in frustration. That kind of energy is contagious, and not in a good way. The Shaq comparison. Here's where it gets interesting. Embiid is often compared to Shaq, but let's be real. Those comparisons need to stop. Shaq was dominant, yes, but he also brought a level of charisma and leadership that Embiid simply lacks. Shaq once said, "Leadership isn't about what you say, it's about what you do." And Embiid? He's done plenty of talking, but not enough doing. Whether it's complaining about the officiating or throwing teammates under the bus, his actions often contradict the very essence of leadership. The legacy at risk. So where does that leave Embiid? Right now, he's teetering on the edge of being remembered as a what-if player. What if he stayed healthy? What if he showed more heart in the playoffs? What if he cared as much about winning as he does about individual accolades? The Sixers are currently one of the most disappointing teams in the league, and much of that blame falls squarely on Embiid's shoulders. For all his talent, for all his skill, he's missing the one thing that separates good players from all-time greats: the ability to elevate those around him. Final thoughts. Joel Embiid isn't just underperforming, he's actively hurting his own legacy. And while it's not too late for him to turn things around, the clock is ticking. Because right now, he's dangerously close to earning a title no superstar wants: the worst superstar in NBA history. So, what do you think? Is Embiid destined to redeem himself? Or are we watching the slow unraveling of one of the league's most gifted yet unreliable players? Let me know in the comments. And, as always, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more